everyone, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have yet another fun plan with me to share with you all. This week I am planning for the days that I was in Vegas after coming back from Greece. I guess not really coming back, like coming from Greece. So this week is Vegas and going to EDC, which is the Electric Daisy Carnival in Las Vegas for the first time ever. It's all EDM, electronic, techno, dubstep, like drum and bass music that Nick has always wanted to go to all of his 20s, and I was down to go and try it. So we went. And here's another spoiler alert. I had so much fun that I can't wait to go next year. And I really want to. So I have something convincing to do for Nick because he thought he was going to be one and done. Meanwhile, little did he know he created a monster in me because I had so much fun. So yeah, so for this week, it is going to be 6 days in the spread. The sidebar and the day usually reserved for Sunday are going to get like just full boxes. I don't really have like sidebar things to put in when I'm on vacation, especially for this long, because there's like not really many to-dos that I need to do. So I got a lot of inspiration from Andrea. She sent me pics. I mention it every time, but just in case you guys think I'm the genius who came up with a way to format this, I am not. Andrea did a lot of the brain work. I also did another spread, actually next week's spread. I did that off camera early on because that's also going to be a 6-day spread to get me back on track to Monday through Sundays. But I did that one off camera first, so that helped a lot. But it was just that this kit didn't need like habit trackers or like ombre heart checklist. So I had to get a little bit more creative with the full boxes. So yeah, this week we are planning for May 17th, which is a Wednesday, to Monday, May 22nd. And it is the whole time that I was in Vegas. I just need to say that I love having like each part of the trip in its own spread. And I'm glad it worked out the way that it did. Because the only part of Greece that is in here is the flight coming to JFK. So that's really nice. So yeah, I am using the Birthday Queen kit from Scribble Prints Co. And I am using like a black hollow foil and sparkly hollow and regular hollow foil for this spread. Just mixing and matching. And then I also did color block this week. I was going back and forth for a very long time on how to set everything up because I also did get underlays from Plana Hannah, the twinkle pattern, and I got them in 5 colors. So I was like, do I match them to the header on top and spread out all the colors? Do I color block? What colors do I leave out? Like, what if one color is more represented than the other? I'm like, it's just so confusing. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just color block. It'll be easiest, and I think it'll look the nicest. I think those are the vibes. Color blocking rainbows is what this week called for. So that's what I did, and it is stunning. I got the underlays in a pink hollow, an orange, okay, so like the orange and the green aren't hollow, but they're beautiful, and they match the colors in this kit perfectly. Then the blue is a hollow, and the purple was a hollow. I don't know what color I thought I was missing, but these are all the colors in the kit. So I'm glad I picked out the colors that I did. The blue was like an extra sampler thing that you could have gotten, but yeah. So in my sidebar, I have 3 full boxes, but I also did add some square boxes and a half box. So the first one says, "The Great Journey Continues," which is what me and Nick kept calling this entire trip, was The Great Journey. And the half box has Baby's First Rave in it, because that's what I just kept saying pretty much all weekend to Nick and like to myself. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Baby's First Rave, because it's like so cute. I probably should have swapped them out and put The Great Journey Continues in the half box just because of the size of the text. But that like little scribbler that I use, like old school scribbler that I used, she was tall, so I wanted to put her in the half box, but the words don't really fill up that space. So maybe I'll go back in there and add some like foil stickers just to decorate it a bit more, because it is kind of bothering me. But that's the only thing that's bothering me about this spread. Everything else is super freaking fun, fantastic. I did use a lot of day extenders. I used 2 like long ones and like 2 kind of like the storybook ones for the double box that I slapped in the middle of the week. But yeah, let me just get into it. I think eventually I get into the spread, but yeah. So Vegas was super duper fun. I've been to Vegas I think this was my 6th time in Vegas. This was Nick's first time in Vegas, but I'd never gone to EDC. I've never gone to festivals, unless it's like a Renaissance fair or a rave. I've never gone because I get a lot of anxiety in crowds. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's like if it's going to be like a tight crowd and people are drinking, like I just get a little scared and claustrophobic of crowds. Mostly it's just anxiety, but yeah. So I was kind of nervous, but we had sprung for VIP passes. He sprung for VIP passes because he knew it would be like the bougie thing to do. And I sprung for VIP passes because after like thorough research to make sure I could handle doing something like EDC. Although, does anyone really know if they can handle doing something like EDC unless they go? So I sprung for the VIP because it meant like less people would be in like certain sections. So it worked out for the best. So yeah, let's start off on Wednesday. Wednesday was our last day in Greece. We only pretty much spent the morning here. I first marked the Great Migration begins, and the Great Migration is the migration from Athens to Vegas, which involved a 11-hour flight back to JFK. We didn't like get off and like leave in New York, but we got to JFK around, I want to say like 2 p.m. Oh, that's crazy. Is that really what? So our plane left at 10:20 in Greece, and we landed around like 2 or 3 at JFK. And we had the longest part was walking from our gate to where customs was, and we have the whole like global entry thing. So we literally just zoomed past because no one was in there. And then we had a 4-hour layover, which was fine. We didn't even sleep on the flight, but we had premium select, which like, oh my God, it's like the step below first class. And like the way this chair reclined and the way I was able to like snuggle up in the chair with a blanket. Also, they give you like better blankets and pillows when you're in Premium Select, which I didn't realize when I was in Comfort Plus. And they gave you this like little pouch of like a toothbrush. Oh, socks. They gave you Delta socks. This was all in Delta. They gave you Delta socks, also not sponsored. But I put those socks over my socks because I am that person on the plane who takes off their shoes. I cannot sit in my shoes, especially for an 11-hour flight. Like, are you kidding? Those shoes are coming off. I think I just stabbed my nail into my forehead. Ouch. Ow, 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 ow. But yeah, so I wore those like over my socks so my socks wouldn't be on the yucky floor, and I just wore my Delta socks everywhere. It was great. And they also gave you a sleeping mask, which I didn't use. I just spent the whole flight watching movies. I think, what did me and Nick watch? We watched, what's that movie with Benedict Cumberbatch in it? Oh, Enigma. We watched that. The Imitation Game. Okay. The Imitation Game. We watched that. I watched Girls Trip. We watched How to Train Your Dragon. I made him watch so many movies. He was like falling asleep, but I just could not sleep on the plane. I don't know why. I was just so full of energy, which kind of like I probably should have slept on the plane, but I couldn't. So then we had a 4-hour layover, and then when we landed, that's when I started feeling like the tired, like when we stopped doing anything. So I also broke my nail on the flight, so I was walking around the JetBlue terminal because we didn't have like a connecting flight with Delta. We had to take JetBlue, which meant we had to go into a different terminal because JetBlue is in Terminal 5 and we landed in Terminal 4. All of the information that you really needed to know. So I was just walking around while Nick was taking a call for work, but not work for something. I found a little nail file, and then I stumbled upon a word search. So I was like, let me get that so I can entertain myself on the 5.5-hour flight to Vegas. And then while we were like in our little layover. So I did that. We got some food. I was falling asleep at the table that we were eating at because like all of the tired was getting to me and I was so hungry, even though they fed us really well on Delta flights, which I was not expecting. But yeah, so I was falling asleep at the restaurant, and then finally we just walked over to our gate to wait for our flight. I definitely love Delta more than JetBlue. I used to be a JetBlue girly, but now I think I'm a Delta. I was gonna say Delta Blue. I'm a Delta girly now. I don't know what happened. It just seems different. But we flew from JFK to Vegas. Our flight left at 6:20. We landed in Vegas around 8 o'clock, I want to say. We waited forever for our luggage. But then we got a cab and we went to check in at the Bellagio. And it was really nice because our cab driver was like, do you guys want me to stop at a liquor store to you guys can get some liquor now so you don't have to do it later. And we were like, that is so nice. Thank you. Nick bought a bottle of Hennessy and Don Julio, which I drank none of. I tried to, but that's a story for a different day of the week if I so choose to ramble on about it. Okay, so moving on to Thursday. Thursday was our full day in Vegas to just do Vegas things. Like I said, Nick had never gone to Vegas, so I was kind of just trying to give him like a sampling of things. We were trying to figure out breakfast, and they had recently opened a Hash House A Go-Go in Vegas. Not recently for me. And so I was like, Nick, they have like really good breakfast. They're really big portions though, which I needed to have taken my own advice because it was so much freaking food. But we got breakfast there, and then I took him to Fat Tuesdays. He got this like 3-yard long stick thing, and it didn't get him drunk, which is hilarious. And after that, we were at the Venetian for a little bit because that's where I think the Hash House is at the Link, and the Fat Tuesdays we went to the Fat Tuesday in the Venetians, and we like walked around there for a bit, and then we played in their casino, some slots, and I lost money very, very quickly, and that was absolutely no fun. I don't mind the losing your money part. I do mind how long it takes, like how quickly I do end up losing that money. Like that's no fun. I was telling people, I'm like, I wouldn't mind gambling if it meant I could play longer. But I guess that's not how that works. So we were in the Venetian casino. We didn't get any drinks. Then Nick was trying to down his 3-foot thing, and I was still trying to finish my peach Bellini slushy, which I was starting to feel a buzz with, but Nick said he couldn't feel anything, and I think it's because of all the sugar. But then after the casino, we played just some slots and some like digital craps or whatever. We went to Madame Tussauds. And they had like a whole section closed out because of there's like an event going on, but it was still really cool. I got to see a lot of wax statues that I hadn't seen before. I've been to that wax museum. This would have been my 3rd time. So it was nice to see like new statues and things. And then because of that one section being closed, we got to do like the Marvel 4D thing, which was so cheesy, but I was like, that was low-key kind of fun. And it was 4D, so it was just like, like they're punching you, they're spraying water in your face and scents in the air. So it was just like a really good way to pass the time. I recommend it if you're in Vegas. It's really like touristy and kind of silly, but it's so fun. Then I popped into Sephora because, I needed to get eyelashes. If you recall, during my birthday week, I got like a full set of eyelash extensions. And by the time we were flying back from Greece to JFK, I had lost a lot on my left eye. And the theory is because I slept on my left eye. The right eye was full and voluptuous, so I spent the entire flight pulling out what was left of my right eye. So I couldn't go to EDC without fake eyelashes, like to the gods, to the electronic music gods. So I got a pair of eyelashes at Sephora, which were kind of like fantastic. They were $12 for a pair of like faux mink lashes, and they came with the little glue thing too, so I didn't even have to buy it. I was gonna buy the magnetic ones with the magnetic liner, but something was just telling me to get these like faux mink Sephora brand ones, and they were incredible. They lasted me all 3 nights. I probably could have kept them, just chose not to because it was kind of gross. But they were fantastic, and I think that they were only $12 with the glue, like all included. So next time I go to any one of these things, I have like a crap ton of Ardell like demi wispies and stuff in my closet, but those faux mink ones were really great, and when I put them on correctly, they were very comfortable. So I did that, and then of course I picked up this like glitter eyeshadow that I didn't need, but bought it anyway. Then we walked over to the Link Hotel because we had timed pass. Well, actually, no, we didn't have timed passes. We were waiting for the zip line to open at the Link. They don't have time passes, but they don't open till like 2 o'clock, but we still had some time to kill. So we just got some drinks at a bar at the Link, and they were very strong and they were good, which, I don't know if it intensified the edge or took the edge off of going on the zip line. It's not like very high, and it's not it's kind of thrill seeking for me, at least, because I'm afraid of heights. But there were a lot of like reviews that were like, it's not high enough, it's not fast enough. Let me tell you, it was perfectly fine. Like, I didn't need it to be any higher. I didn't need to be any faster, but it was a lot of fun, especially after having like one beverage and just like chilling beforehand. So yeah. Then we were walking back through like this little like outdoor mall area after like where the zip line drops you off. And it's really cute because there's like a lot of restaurants and some shops. And I had stumbled upon this shop that's called Nectar, and they sell bath treats, so it's like Lush, but it's Nectar, and everything looks like cupcakes and waffles. It's so cute and pastel in there. It's just like an absolute like aesthetic. It's so adorable. And I had seen it at the Venetian, and I said, Nick, don't let me go in here. But of course, after that like strong drink, after my little peach Bellini at Fat Tuesdays and the adrenaline from going on this zip line, I was like, let's go in. And the guy that was helping us was super nice, because I was like, I don't understand any of what I'm looking at, because first of all, it all looked edible, and it all looked like it could be a bath bomb or a bubble bar. It was like these things were in like Frappuccino cup looking things. And I was like, what is all this? So he was like helping us out. He was telling us about everything. And of course, because I'm a little tipsy, he's like telling me about this like box of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, he's like selling me. I'm like, I know he's just trying to sell me. Like, there's this like big box you can get. But he tells me you could fill this box with anything you want, up to like we can get you these certain things if it adds up to this. And then you get a discount on it because you got it in the box. And I was like, okay, I hear you. And he's like, yeah, we can ship it to your house. I'm like, you can ship it? Because if you watched my Greece plan with me, my luggage was already at the limit, and we had even taken out things to put in a tote bag to carry, but that tote bag was 13 pounds. So it was like very heavy to carry around. And if I was about to buy this box of bath treats, I think Nick would have killed me. But also he was kind of here for it, because I was like, you can put whatever you want in the box. I was like, do you want a body scrub? Let's get you a body scrub. But yeah, I ended up buying a lot, but he could ship it to my house, and that was fantastic. And turns out this guy was also going to EDC. So Nick was having a ball talking about electronic dance music, and I was just standing there like, I can't wait for my bath treats. But it was nice because I got to spend all that money, and then I was just like, it's just going to arrive at my house. So it's like double the serotonin. I love it. So yeah, picked up all that. We went back to the hotel, and we kind of like accidentally fell asleep watching Beat Bobby Flay. Our dinner was at 8:00, I think, and we went to the Bacchanal buffet, which I had been like dying to go to, but I think I was exhausted. Like, I woke up from that nap tired, and I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do, because we need to stay up. Like, for those who don't know, EDC in Las Vegas starts at like 5 p.m., 7 p.m. and goes till 6 o'clock in the morning. And so we're like living regular people hours right now. And I'm like, we have to be able to stay up so we sleep in, so that way we can at least like bump our sleep schedule so we can stay up later. But we were falling asleep. And when I don't sleep well, I get anxiety, and then I can't eat well. So we had these Bacchanal reservations, and we were walking around, and nothing looked appetizing to me. I felt like I couldn't stomach anything. I had like Jell-O and a taco. Nick ate a plate. But like this place has like every type of food you can imagine. That's like the whole appeal of it. It's like seafood and Japanese food, Korean food, Italian food, Mexican food, Spanish food, everything you could ever imagine. And I was looking forward to this for months, and I couldn't stomach anything. Like, I just like everything I looked at made me feel like I was going to throw up. And so I left. And they also made me a coffee, and I was like, maybe I'll have a coffee and stay awake. And the coffee was shit. So that just sucked. So that's the only thing I was upset about the entire vacation, is like what a waste Bacchanal buffet was, because it's expensive, and I was just so angry. But anyway, after that, we headed back to the Bellagio to see the Cirque du Soleil show that they performed there, which is O. And I am very ashamed to say that it was really hard to stay awake. I'm really it was really hard to stay awake. Yeah, so like for a lot of the first half of it, it was kind of quiet and subdued music playing, and it felt like a lullaby just putting me to sleep. So that was really rough. But for the last half, it got like really exciting, so I was able to stay awake. And then I found out that Nick was also struggling to stay awake, and I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do, because now it's only like 10:30, 11. No, I think it was like 11 o'clock. And I was like, I could pass out right now. So I made us go upstairs. I made us change, and I was like, let's change into new outfits. Like, let's we don't have to dress up completely. Like, we can just dress up a little bit. Nick put on his, like, really fancy pants and fancy shirt, and he looked so handsome. And then I just put on, like, a halter bodysuit and, like, a denim skirt. And I put some heels on, and I was like, let's pretend we're going out for the night. We went downstairs to the casino, and Nick played craps for a couple of hours, and I just stood there, you know, looking cute. And I got free drinks out of it, so I'm not complaining. But we did our best. I started to get hungry, but of course everything was closed. So we came back to the room around like 1:30 in the morning, which I still don't feel like was late enough. But 1:30 in the morning, I like inhaled a bag of Doritos, and then Nick fell asleep right away. And then I stayed up until like 2:30 watching Beat Bobby Flay, which I thought was a good accomplishment. I did my best, but it was hard. This next box says sleep in on Friday, but I think we only slept in until like 10 a.m. Sorry, like 9 or 10 a.m. Like that's how long we slept, which is like not enough time at all. So then we just laid in bed for a very long time. We cuddled, all those good things. Then we went to get coffee at the Bellagio Hotel. It was, I think we could have shared a cup of coffee, but I think me and him were starting to get like a little bit of anxiety, just kind of like, not because like anything bad was happening, but just because like this was like a really big event we were going to. We didn't know what to expect. I'm assuming that's what it was, because it just didn't make any sense why I was feeling anxious. Like, we had planned everything down to the T, so nothing was unexpected, so I don't know what was going on. But the Cosmopolitan Hotel had Hattie B's hot chicken, so we walked on over there, got some hot chicken. It was great. I made myself eat the whole thing because I was still feeling, like, kind of nauseous and kind of anxious, so it was, like, really hard to stomach food, but, like, I knew I needed food in my system. So then we also went to the Milk Bar, got ice cream, because, you know, nothing says milky ice cream after some hot chicken. And then we also went to the Chandelier Bar because Nick was like really excited to check it out. We got some champagne, we sat there for a little bit, and then we left back to the hotel. It was around maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock. We hung out. I did my makeup before my appointment to get my hair braided, which was so exciting. They put like pink, blue, and purple extensions in my hair. They braided it like Dutch braids. Oh, it was so stinking pretty, and it lasted the entire weekend. Like, the hair alone makes me want to go back to EDC because it was perfect. And seeing like the other girls who got their hair got their hair done, it was so beautiful. So yeah, for this like box, this last box on this day, you can see I pulled up the giant like full box sticker I had there before. I thought originally it would be a really good idea, but these colors in this kit are just so vibrant that something felt off about having this like kind of off green instead of this neon lime green sitting there. And I was going to do it for all 3 days of EDC. So I was using that box to basically mark EDC things. But then I was like, you know what? Let me use the colors in this kit because they're so gorgeous. And like I can fill up that space a little bit with like square boxes and half boxes. And I love how it turned out even better than the other box. Plus, I got to use more of those borders from Plannahannah that are just like chef's kiss. I need to order more of those because whenever I use them in a spread, I will literally use pretty much like 3/4 of an entire sheet. They're so awesome. So yeah, EDC in night 1 was fantastic. I feel like I need to slow down this footage so I can talk about it, but we're just going to go into it. EDC night 1 was great. I didn't know what I was expecting. Oh, I was like, okay. So I was saying I was like nauseous this day. So Nick was trying to pregame with Don Julio. And then I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, if you're sick, you shouldn't do it. And I'm like, no, I think I'll be okay. Like, who takes back a shot of tequila and just like instantaneously vomits it up? Me. That's who. Literally took back the shot of tequila and I was like, I'm great. And then ran to the toilet. And Nick's like, who do I call? Your mom or your sister? I'm like, nobody. Let's go. Like after I threw up, I felt better. But like I wasn't like drinking or anything. So I was like trying to take it easy this whole night. So I did my first night of EDC ever sober. And it was still a friggin' blast. Nick was dragging me from set to set. Most of them were in the main area, but it was so cool because I don't know, like just like the vibes, to sound very cliche, were like immaculate. It was so fun. I've never heard a lot of this music in my life. I think I've heard like the like people that are like on top 40. I've heard them, but there's like people I've never heard their music, the style of music I'd never heard before. Apparently I'm into drum and bass music and like dubstep. Who would have thought? Not I. Also, we made it to sunset on this night, which is crazy, but also kind of makes sense because I wanted to see Galantis, which is a group, well, I guess now he's just a person, that I discovered while I was doing my EDM research. And I'm like, all their music makes me want to just like make rainbows come out of my arms and glitter come out of my pockets. So we waited for Galantis and we did the sunrise set. It was so happy. Oh my God, it was indescribable and so amazing. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this again. And it was so wild to see like the sun, because Galantis started their set when the sun was completely down, and then just through the set, the sun rose. And then by the time we left around 5:30, the sun was just completely up in the sky and we were getting on the shuttles to go back. So it was just such a good time. Plus they have like rides at this place, which we ended up doing. What day did we do? We ended up doing more rides on the last day, but like if you're VIP, you get to cut the lines. Also VIP has their own like sections, their own bathrooms, which is great. I didn't feel like it was too crowded. Nick was pulling me through a lot of the VIP crowd, which like there's like a railing in this section and all the other sections too, but there's a railing, and he was like pulling me towards it. We weren't like pushing people out of the way. Like we just like strategically looked for openings, but people were more crowded together and dancing, but like it didn't bother me. And it was just so nice. It was fantastic. I did have a pretzel and like some water at the beginning of the night. And then I ended my night with a flaming hot Cheeto Korean corn dog, which you think I shouldn't have had, but it was delicious and I'm glad I had it. All right. So we're already into Saturday technically, because this is where I marked the Galantis sunrise set, because it felt weird to mark it on Friday when technically it was already like 6 hours into Saturday. I also struggled a lot with putting down boxes on this Saturday, like full box situation. Not because I didn't have enough of the stickers that I needed, but I wasn't going to have enough of the border stickers from Plan a Hannah. So I was trying to strategically put stickers down in a way that meant that every half box, every square box, and every like quarter box would have the border if because like I could see like the list of things, and like I write down if something needs a square box or anything for spacing. But yeah, so I was trying to figure it out, and I'm glad I did this because it gave me time to catch up to the spread, but I was struggling hard. So after the Galantis sunrise set, we got back to the Bellagio, and it was really funny because the Bellagio is like an older crowd of people, and we were just like walking through with our rave wear on, which the first night was kind of fine because it was basically like a crop top, tank top, and bell-bottom pants. So that was fine. It was just my hair was wild. Not that it was like wild and like disheveled, but it's like it was like purple and blue and didn't really thick braids. There were 2 duckies in it, to be on a tangent. There were 2 duckies in it, but I lost one, and so I took the other one out to keep as like a keepsake. So yeah, we got back to the hotel and we just knocked clean out. Thank you, Vegas, for blackout curtains. We made sure to have them closed like before we left so that everything in the room would be dark. And then we just knocked out, and I had set an alarm for 3:00. I didn't think we would need it. We needed it. We didn't get back to the hotel and to our room until like 8:00 in the morning. And then we slept till 3, but only because my alarm went off. And if my alarm didn't go off, I would have kept sleeping. So we finally got up out of bed around maybe like 4:00, but we were also trying to get to EDC earlier this day because an artist that Nick had wanted to see, who I had listened to on my research to EDC, Valentino Khan, was playing at like 9:00, and the other day we had gotten there at around 10 or like 9:45 actually we got there. So we're trying to leave a little bit earlier. So we walked back over to the Cosmopolitan and we went to a restaurant called Chino Poblano, where they like their whole MO was that we serve Mexican food and Chinese food. There's no fusion, there's no nothing. That's just our MO. Chinese and Mexican food. And we're like, okay. So I ordered tacos and Nick ordered dim sum. Then we went to Sephora because my eyeliner had dried out, I think from all the traveling and like all the flying. My eyeliner dried out, so I needed to get another one. And then we went to CVS to go get more water because we were running low and we really needed to fill up his hydration pack. And then, so we got back and I got ready for the night, which was a lot easier now because it was just putting on, makeup, and my hair was already done, which was super convenient. I wore like a black bodysuit thing with fishnet tights, and I felt really cool. I felt like I looked like a superhero. It was a really fun outfit. So then as soon as I got dressed, we headed on out to EDC night 2, which walking through the Bellagio in this outfit did make me feel a little funny because like it was a bodysuit. I didn't like have shorts or anything over it. So like picture like a bathing suit, like a one-piece bathing suit, but just like with long sleeves, and you're just walking around like that in a casino full of people like dressed to go golfing. That was me. Didn't really mind it, but I was just very aware of it. So I wrote that this was the best night because I had absolutely so much fun. I marked the people that we saw at the end of the day. And this was one of the nights where I was just like vibing and everything felt great. And I was like really letting the music flow through my body. And I was just having a great time. Mind you, I also drank this day. Not a ton, actually. I think this is the day I drank a ton, but I didn't feel like drunk like I usually do because we had a hydration pack and like Nick just had it on tap the whole time. We refilled it. So we were like super hydrated. So I was just like vibing. I was having a really good time. We did leave this night, quote unquote, a little early. We left at like 3 or 4 a.m. because we did have plans on Sunday. We had made a booking at Omega Mart to go see that, which is like this, like, it's not an art installation, but it is like an installation exhibit of sorts. So it was really cool. We wanted to make sure we were awake for that. Later, we discovered we probably didn't have to. Like we could have stayed till the sunset, the sunrise set, which was Afrojack, and we missed it. And we were kind of like, damn it. Cause that's like one of the artists like I knew, and I was like, but like we paid for this like exhibit experience. So like I still want to make sure like we go to see the things we wanted to, but it was fine. Like it's not that big of a deal. So we left a little early, we fell asleep, and then we woke up around like 1 o'clock, got some cuddles in, and then we went to Cafe Bellagio, which was crap. I hated it. It made me so queasy and so nauseous. But then we hopped in an Uber and went to Omega Mart, which is a really cool like exhibit thing of where like the outside looks like a supermarket, but like all the food and all the items are like weird and something's a little off. And then it's like one of those places where you you open the freezer and you walk through it and you're like in this like alien spaceship outer space thing, and it was just really cool to like play around with everything, go into these different rooms. Highly recommend. It was super fun. And even the area that the Omega Mart is in, so it's like the place is called Area 15, and then Omega Mart is in this place, but in Area 15 they have like cute like little like niche shops. They have these like zip lining things that aren't zip lining, but like you can like travel around the ceiling. They had neon golf, these like VR experiences, axe throwing. It looked like a lot of fun. We didn't have time for it, but definitely like if we ever go back, I will definitely want to do more of that stuff because it looked really fun. So after that, I think we got some bubble tea, which was really, really delicious. We should have gotten a large, but there you go. We got some bubble tea, and then we went back to the hotel to get ready, and we also started packing because what we didn't realize is that EDC night 3 is on Sunday, but goes into Monday, so at like 6, and our flight was at 12. So we had to make sure we were packed because actually we didn't even sleep. So it doesn't matter. But I don't think we were expecting to be there until the sunrise. Correction, I don't think we were realizing to be there till sunrise before the first night, but after the first night, it's kind of like easy to make it to the sunrise. Or maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm like, my bedtime is at 10:30. Right now I'm filming this and it's 9:24, and I already took a melatonin. I'm like, I'm ready to knock out in an hour. But like at EDC, there's just like so much stimulation in like the best possible way, at least in the areas I was in, that like I couldn't feel my tiredness and I wasn't like overstimulated. So it was like super easy to make it to the sunrise set, which was good because I feel like we got to see a lot. I think we did miss a few things because we went on rides. I know Nick wanted to see one of the artists, Armin van Buuren, and we were on the Ferris wheel, and I asked if it was okay. Like I did not mind getting off of the line, but we ended up seeing his set like from the Ferris wheel, and I think he wishes we saw it like from the floor. But we learn. I don't think if I go back to EDC, like I'm not going on the Ferris wheel because the line was really long, even in the VIP with their own Ferris wheel. And it was just like not worth it. Like I'd rather be out there, which is saying a lot because like I said, don't like crowds, but I'm like, I'd rather be in the crowd. Yeah, so we rode some rides. There was like a fall drop thing, a roller coaster, a Himalaya thing. It was super duper fun. Oh, also the night before we went to a candy store, not like candy like snacks and sweet treats, but like candy like the bracelets and the jewelry. And we got these rings, not wedding rings. Mine was like a little pink gummy bear, and Nick's was like a cute little Game Boy, but they cost $15, which was like crazy. But we bought them, and they're such cute little keepsakes. I love them so much. I wish I spent more time like in the shopping areas, but I think we like walked through them, and I just wasn't feeling like I wanted to spend money. Also because the drinks were kind of expensive, and Nick kept getting doubles because he just wanted to feel drunk, but it wasn't happening for him. So like that, so we were just spending money on food and drinks, and I was okay with that, except for my little candy keepsake. But maybe next year if I go. Which I'm saying if I go, like I didn't already buy like tickets to go next year, okay? I totally fully plan on going next year because it was so much freaking fun. So then we stayed for the Cascade sunrise set. Nick loves Cascades, so of course we had to stay for that. And it was really nice. Like it was a really chill vibe going into the sunrise. Did I say sunset? I meant sunrise. Got a little backwards here. So then after that, we got onto the shuttle and went to the Bellagio, walked through the casino again. I had actually put on the pashmina around my body this time because the third outfit was very like see-through, crop top, teeny tiny, like a mesh skirt, like all this stuff. So I was like, I need to just cover up something because I am not a woman with a body that people would just like ignore. It sounds conceited to say, but like the chest protrudes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So then we packed up the rest of our stuff. We changed. I actually had time to shower, so that was nice. I didn't take my hair out because I felt like that was going to be a whole project because I remember how much gel I had put in it to secure it for 3 days. I think I could have gone for another like week, but I did take them out when I got home. So we lifted to the airport and we got there a little bit early, so I was hungry. And Nick said he wanted like a hamburger, and lo and behold, there was a diner in the airport like right near our gate. So we went to Ruby's Diner, we got a burger, I got a milkshake, and then we got on our flight, and the captain said that it was too heavy to fly, which I had never heard before. It is a fear of mine. Like not even a fear, it's like something I always think about. I'm like, aren't planes really heavy? How do they fly? And the pilot basically tells us that the flight is too heavy. They take the standby people off the flight that they put on the flight. They did their calculations, and apparently it was enough to just remove the standby people and not our luggage, which, was great. And then we took off, and it was so turbulent for the first 2 hours. I wanted to cry. Like, you heard everything shaking. The flight attendants were sitting down. Even Nick turned around to me and he was like, did they say it was going to be turbulent? And I was like, no, they didn't. But we were flying over Colorado, and I've learned after visiting Kelly for her brief stint in Wyoming is that Colorado, no matter where you fly over it, is bumpy. It's super bumpy. And that gave me some comfort. A little bit, not a lot. I was still getting like heart plummeting palpitations because I was so scared. But then we flew from Las Vegas to JFK, got in my mom's car because she kindly picked us up, and that was it. That was the great journey. And just like that, it was over. It was so sad. We were tired. We got back. We put on some Jersey Shore. Nick kept knocking out, pretending he wasn't. I slowly started unpacking things, but like it was a lot of stuff, so I definitely didn't finish unpacking in one night. And then I went straight to bed. And that was the whole journey. I don't think I fully encapsulated, or maybe I did, how much fun I had at EDC. And the dopamine serotonin drop would only hit me the next week. It was sad. Like coming back, like going on like such an extensive trip, like such a like exciting jam-packed trip like this, especially going from Greece to Vegas, like it's nuts, it's crazy. It is. But like coming down from that was hard. But I had the absolute best time in Greece. I had a freaking awesome time in Vegas, which I was not expecting to have a bad time, but the level of a good time that I had at an event that like everybody, like anyone who I told to that I was going to EDC was like, Jess, you at EDC, really? No one was being like super mean about it, but like they know me, they know my anxieties with crowds. And I'm like, I didn't like really listen to EDM. Now all I listen to is EDM, like so many new songs on my Spotify. But yeah, like for good reason, like no one expected it. And now I like remember I turned around to look at Nick at one of the sets and I was like, you honestly don't want to come back after this? And he was just like, no. And I was like, oh my God, like what am I going to do? Because this is so fun. Like the hair, the makeup, the clothes, the vibes, just everything was so unexpectedly fun. And it's a shame it's over. But I'm slowly getting Nick's friends and my friends, they're friends, into going to electronic dance festival rave things. So I got one of his friends to buy a ticket for EDC, and then I think there's like another event we're going to go to in New York City. We don't know yet, but we want to. And I blame Nick. Nick created me as the monster, and now I am influencing all of our friends to want to go to these things. And I couldn't be happier because it sounds like a freaking hoot. Okay. Thank you everyone so much for watching and listening to my rambles. I really hope you enjoyed this plan with me. I hope you enjoyed hearing the stories of my Greece trip, of my Vegas trip. If you haven't heard about Greece yet, it's somewhere in my armoire. That's wrong. Something of playlist of videos. Yeah. So if you want to check that one out, you can. And then like my 30th birthday, all of it. I'm happy to finally have these plan with me's done, but it is sad to actually finally fully close this chapter of the year. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.